Kinda
Exactly.
like like a neon show. If you wanna
Yeah.
get some black light to mix in just for effect, just
We'll have a whole party.
We have enough voice actors. Sure, we can get some beatboxing.
Welcome to another episode of Behind the Slate, where I sit down with fellow voice actors and other industry artists to have a fireside chat. I'm your host, Christian O'Boyle. If you'd like to know more about me, please check out my website at christianoboyle.com. In this episode, I'll be talking with Carl G. Brooks, a Texan voice actor. He has voiced in many web series, video games, and educational materials, such as Marcus from Outpost 86 and Max from the series Alone. How's it going? How are you?
I'm good. Still a bit I don't know, it's been a rough week. It's like we've had this cold front come in, and
I heard
now
about that.
things are starting to warm up, and now all of a sudden, the back throat is like a desert, and
Right.
yeah, internet connection is unstable.
I
What?
see that.
I don't know. I use a Wi-Fi extender, so unless it's, like, dropping out in and out for whatever reason.
Well, if you're having bad weather, it could be it.
No, it's bright and sunny out there. Like I
Mm.
said, now it's starting to heat up. Now it's like just the back
Yeah.
of my sinus is like the Sahara.
Oh, I bet. Yeah, it's especially when it's like going really, really hot, really cold, really hot, really cold. And you're like, I just want it to be normal and consistent.
Excuse the dogs,
No,
they're
no,
not what they do. They're
I
it's a cross between, a little Chihuahua Shih Tzu,
mhm.
who is the main one, and then a Frenchie Bulldog. I'm hearing something else,
I heard that. That wasn't me. Was that you?
unless that may be Odin. 'Cause he's right next to me over here, and he's just groaning, "I'm not in the fun." He's still a puppy. He comes up to, like, my hip, but he's still a puppy.
What type of dog is he?
He is a Great Dane with a Irish Wolfhound.
Yeah, look at that. That's big.
Yeah.
So you and your
Yeah.
wife, you take care of these animals.
Yeah. She keeps an eye out on, like, Craigslist, 5 Mile, just any certain situations. We've
Right.
taken a couple in, we're taking care of, and then there's the few that we got up from kill shelters or just, mostly it's been feral cats we've
Okay.
gotten in, or just cats in whatever situation, and we try to, flip them over to other new better homes.
Yeah. How long
Sure.
is the process between like taking in an animal and then
It depends on the age. Usually kittens, they'll go quick. If it's an older
right.
cat or dog, it's usually some time, what you're looking for,
Yeah.
more
Seems like a
specifically.
lot of commitment, but that's amazing
Yeah.
that you and your wife are doing that. Um,
Well, we're doing our part for sure.
yeah, that's amazing that you're doing you're finding these homes for these animals and things like that. Um,
Yeah.
Now, do you find that the Daw box that you built, which looks amazing by the way?
It the only I mean, yeah, I'm very proud of this. Just the work I put into it and the open acoustic panel on a double wall.
Hmm.
It made sense. Probably I won't do it again. I'll probably just go with the straight up double wall. I know in Whisper Rooms, it's just really I mean, their double wall, it's really just there is a minor air gap, but it's really just MDF on top of MDF.
Right.
Um, of course, I think they do something, else with, that they cover over with the fabric.
Right.
Maybe
Right. Right.
some, loaded vinyl MVL. Ma no, mass loaded vinyl, MLV. That's
Hmm.
yes. But other than that, the door right now is because you can hear the dogs. Ta-da!
Right.
The door is completely open. So, I've got this little hook, for the lack of a better knob. I got the door
Right.
for, like, $5 off Craigslist.
Oh,
So
nice. Yeah.
yeah, just slapped on the whole opening of MDF I used,
Hmm.
put it on the door, put the acoustical foam on it, and yeah.
Do you find it has been a bigger improvement from what you had?
Yes, it has. The last thing I did was really just 4 thin walls, um, slightly treated about the same, just not
Right.
as decorative.
Right.
It was a masterpiece.
I'm loving the purple that you're digging. You just have this purple goo.
Purple has always been a vibrant color. I also wanted something that would seemed a bit more theatrical,
It's very
like
royal,
yes, very.
regal. You're very
Mhm.
regal looking. No, I as you can see, I still have the blanket booth. Uh,
Yes, but I know you're working in your garage to
well,
help
yeah, the
expand that.
garage the garage is still in the process. We have to insulate the ceiling, so
Mhm.
that way once the ceiling is insulated, then I can keep the heat the same, and then I would actually be able to build my booth. But based on finances of being able to insulate everything, it's like I don't have
Yeah,
the funds to actually build a booth right now. So I'm gonna move this
right,
thing.
right.
I have like an extra PVC, like 8 foot, 10 foot
Mhm.
PVC pipe. So I'm gonna cut that down and maybe
Yeah.
expand my booth a little bit so it's not so tight. But um
Mhm.
yeah, it's gonna be a little bit until I can build my own DAW box, but I'm
Yeah,
very excited.
same went for this baby. I had, certain funds that I could get a hold of immediately to get the walls, and then the walls are just sitting around for m practically almost half the summer before I, purchased the plans and then just took it on the road, and then even then, it was just like, "What can I do in this budget for this amount of time?" And I do that, and then just
Right.
it went on up until the end of Oc up until the beginning of October.
Right, it
So
took you a couple months if I'm correct.
yes, well, MDF is it's heavy,
It's very heavy.
very heavy, especially 3 quarters when I found out I had the 3 quarters before I figured out it was half-inch MDF that the plans
Right,
called for.
right.
Still, I can work with it, so what I decided to do was I cut, 1 panel in half, and then basically it's real the 3 back and side walls are really 6 whole pieces
Mm,
that are mended together by, a 1 by 4, which is painted black stripe, against the side to help mend it on the outside, and the
right.
double wall mends it on the inside. So,
That makes sense, yeah. I'm,
yeah.
I'm now you didn't do the ventilation part.
No, no, I haven't gotten that far yet. I actually found out a rotary tool that they call for
Right,
in, drilling the hole bits.
right.
Yeah, it's actually more doing than it sounds. It's like you have to let the drill do the cutting, and it cuts very slow, especially on thick and most thick things.
Right, right. I mean, I was thinking about using a jigsaw to do it,
Mhm.
just to kind of
I ended up
man
upgrading to a jigsaw. Yep.
yeah, yeah, and just manually cut it, but, yeah, I'm almost not gonna build the booth entirely until I have the ventilation because right now with what I have is like you get too hot and stuff like that. You
Mhm.
need to circulate that air or you're
Mhm.
either gonna have to open that door really quick or you're gonna have to
Yep.
turn on a fan, but either way you can't record in most cases. So
Yeah, you need air for more than just the job.
right. And
That
one of
was
the things is
cracking jokes.
I ran into getting heat exhaustion a couple months ago.
Mhm.
I was recording and it was probably about
Oh, wow.
hour and a half in the middle of the summer, and it wasn't too hot, but like a frog in water, you kind of slowly turn it up, and I went to bed. I'm like, I don't feel good, and I woke up the next morning. I went flush, and I was just sweating, and I actually basically collapsed. And Jesse had to call my manager. Thankfully, my father-in-law, who's my manager, she called him and be like, "Hey, he Christian can't make it in." And he's like,
Mhm.
"Oh, why?" Well, I think he got heat exhaustion. So I was out for almost a day and a half because of that.
My.
Yeah. So I was like,
Yeah.
that's where I'm like, I definitely need the ventilation for a more air
Yeah.
seal tight booth because I'm
Mhm.
gonna hurt myself. And so you can definitely hurt yourself.
One thought's all it takes, and then it's an immediate knockout.
Right, right, right. So it's just like I don't want to kill myself.
Mhm.
I don't want
Mm,
to
mhm.
put
No,
myself out.
it's
Or
made to be a fun place,
yeah,
fun, healthy environment place, not
a fun isolation by yourself.
when we first moved into this unit, we at first we have a big garage, so it's like, okay, you can just put your booth in the garage. I don't want to look at it, it's wives. Anyway, so originally I set it in the garage, and it's like Texas summer heat, not like last year's summer heat, but it's like the summer before. So it's literally enough time has gone by that it's like, what am I stepping on? And then it's all slippery, and it's like,
Oh,
oh, it's me.
it's my sweat. I'm melting.
I think I spent about a good 40 minutes on that session before
Oof.
taking the laptop in and just doing my editing from there.
Oh yeah, yeah. Definitely
Much.
like get your laptop out of your booth, I would say, because that thing is blowing heat. So what I did is I actually have my laptop sitting outside of my booth, running
Hmm.
an HDMI cable into a monitor,
Right.
which still gets warm, but nothing like your laptop blowing hot air. 'Cause it
Hmm.
needs to cool, and then that also spikes your heat. Because when I moved it, immediately, not so much.
Also, an economical switch I plan on making soon. Like right now, I'm using Christmas lights. Eh, Also, a big heat generator. Switching to LED,
Right.
even string lights, even color syncing string lights.
Yeah,
It-
I actually have, string lights right now. They get or
oh
rope light.
yeah,
If you see, I have
yeah, yeah. I
rope
kind of
light.
see.
It still gets a little warm. It doesn't get as hot as Christmas
Right.
lights. I
Hmm.
had the LED Christmas lights for a bit, and they would flicker because LEDs flicker, and so it would actually bug out my eyes. So I switched to this, which actually had more light than
Wow.
what I had, but it's still not where I want it to be. I wanna, have, like, those under cabinet LED strips that
Mm,
you would do under, your kitchen cabinets. I wanna have, like, 2,
right.
3 of those,
Yeah.
lined either
Just
behind me or top.
or on the roof
Or yeah,
or on the
exactly.
sides even.
Yeah,
If you want
exactly.
like like a neon show. If you want to
Yeah.
get some black light to mix in just for effect, just
We'll have a whole party.
we have enough voice actors. Sure, we can get some beatboxing.
Oh, I'm sure there's someone who can beatbox, and we'll throw down. It'll be amazing. So you're in Texas, and so
Mhm.
you had your booth in your garage. Is your garage insulated?
Not well. Yeah,
Not
this
well.
house was not very well. No.
Right,
It was a fair attempt, but nature was against me
right. Yeah,
ultimately. So
just ve
after a fair conversation with the wife and convincing her, listen, it's not working out. Can I just bring two walls in? And this is before I did a somewhat redesign before this design.
right.
So it's always work. You're always working on trial and error,
Mhm.
much like the industry. It's always trial and error, and you have to fail to get further. And I like it.
Yeah. That's so that is amazing. Um, and I know every once in a while you hop in a voice point in Discord and you'll do, "Hey, I'm doing auditions. Go ahead and just join me in the booth," basically.
Yeah.
How do you feel that having someone listen to you audition, has it helped you basically push you? You're like, "I have to do good because there's people listening to me," or you just kind of
Essentially.
yeah, yeah,
Essentially, yeah, to that get especially getting critiques, yeah, if anyone has, something that they think would sound, better on top of it, or it's just getting an open critique from your peers. It's always been the best form of improvement that's kept me alive in this industry so far,
right.
and so just putting yourself out there, just socially,
Well, if you think
it
that even helps other people because they're listening to you audition and they're like, "Hey, I noticed this," and they're like, "Oh, that might help me for
mhm,
future reasons." So
right,
that's very cool that uh you put yourself in that position saying, "Hey, I'm gonna audition, go ahead and listen to me. And if you have something that you want to work on, go ahead and work on it as well, and we'll kind of help each other out."
mhm.
I don't think I would have the courage to do that. I'm, mm
Honestly, it's one of those hurdles you have to pass over. I mean, if it's one thing to do it from behind the mic at home, it's an entirely different monster to do it on public or in public on stage,
right.
or just if you have a casting call where you have to be at the studio
Mhm.
um, to record your audition. These are the simple hurdles that are a necessity in voiceover that you're gonna have to get over anyway.
Right.
So might as well get all the practice you can in.
Yeah, and I mean, I do theater, and
Mhm,
so being able to do your cold call or your cold reading and auditions in front of directors or in front of everyone else who's called into the room with you, um,
mhm,
it can be nerve-wracking. I haven't really done a big show since I started voice acting, so I'm very curious on how much my cold reading has improved since my last show. So I'm very excited. The next show I'm planning on auditioning for is Pride and Prejudice.
Cool.
Yeah, that's in March, so I have a couple more months until then. So
Yeah, I haven't seen Pride and Prejudice in well, it was like the Colin Firth version.
oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it's like been well over a decade though. Oh
yeah.
man.
Right, it's been a while. So what got you into acting?
Well, I mean, I always knew I was a bit of a ham, and discovering this around like 5 or so, it started with my dad telling bedtime stories, and it just putting in the voices behind the characters from like this is how he got me into Mel Brooks films, was he did the Frankenstein scene where he was like, "Don't throw the third switch," and build up from there, telling your kid to sleep, and then it's like
Right,
he throws the third switch. So finally I asked him, "Hey, let me see about that movie." He's like, "Okay, fine." So we just watch it, and I'm like, it's not as fun as dad telling the story, of course, but it was the gateway that led to uh, just my love for film, my love for storytelling, and learning how to support that narrative. That's how Quentin Tarantino learned how to do direct. He just watched films,
right, right.
but getting the mannerisms, getting the motive, getting um,
Your objective.
mhm, uh, just getting pinpointing these things and settling in. Um, it's just finding what comes natural to these people.
And now you took this experience of watching film and
Mhm.
just driving to find out what makes them tick and what makes the voice actors tick. Now you also did filmmaking for a while. Um,
Yes,
how long did you do filmmaking for?
I started at 21 because mostly during through high school. Ended up I did a little theater, not a lot. I wasn't pursuing it like that objectively, but
Right.
I was a drummer as well, and that I was pursuing objectively. My mistake. So, but still fun. So about 21, I read Rebel Without a Crew by Robert Rodriguez and learned how he just on $7,000 of money that was given to him by family and friends, and the scientific research he went through to just test studies you find at wherever you go to fund for El Mariachi. And then that turned into a deal with Miramax, which gave us Desperado, and then so forth. And now he has his own TV series on El Rey, a channel which he owns and runs in Austin, Rebel Without a Crew reality series.
Right.
Yeah. So watching Robert Rodriguez, Tarantino, Kubrick, Nolan, it's uh, it got me interested into the newer narrative where film was going, especially those who stuck with analog film versus digital film, and just finding stories that could really help captivate and open minds. Um, the one of the best stories, my favorite Nolan movie was The Prestige because it defines the very essence of storytelling and what film is. It's a magic trick.
Right.
We're all just, um, in a way, out to fool each other or fool everyone else with our fancy lies in the stories that we that we tell to
Right.
amuse you, to entertain you, to let you go of the world and join us for just a brief moment.
Right. Entertainment. I love it.
Mhm. Mm.
Now, being on the other side, because you did acting in these film, and then you've also were on the other side, you're producing and all this stuff. Do you
Mhm.
feel like being on the other side of the camera, that it helped you grow as an actor?
It helped me understand the process. It helped me understand, where, as an actor, I can accommodate for the technical and where they can do their job and can provide the best of my ability to serve their purpose.
Right. And being able to understand that mindset of uh, being on the other side kind of helps you connect maybe with your directors. Do you
Mhm.
feel that you have that a little bit more connection of people who are writing your scripts for when you're doing voice acting and stuff?
Absolutely. I worked on Outpost 86 for a number of years, and that's a Battlefield 3 machinima, Battlefield 4. And the Machinima is one of the engines that really pushed me to where this is where I could start.
Mhm.
And I may have stayed in there a little too long, but eventually, I mean, I got the practice I needed to make the step forward within the last 2 years. But Machinima was my home from the very beginning. It's what got me interested and more involved with filmmaking, the process, storytelling, and speaking with the directors and understanding them what they want. I'm able to better deliver for them what they need,
Right.
and um, just that's the means of creation. It's to be at play.
Right, right. And it just being able to have that connection, I think is a lot of fun. Just being able to have maybe an input on
Hmm.
something and being able to say, "Hey, I have experience in this. Maybe I can help you out." Um, so how long have you been voice acting for?
I've been voice acting since 2012.
Okay, wow. So
I
over
first started it
6
first
years.
started with, I would go in the Rooster Teeth forums, and I pretty much did, like, an open call out, "Hey, I'm an actor, I'm available," and just had, like, a makeshift demo of, like, 20 minutes of just or just whatever. It's just when you start out, it's mostly just funny voices.
Of course, definitely.
Yeah, so it's, getting all that out, and all the kinda like all the giggles, all the everything, like, "Yeah," and then you can start to take things as a craft and seriously.
Right.
So, basically, that's what I did from 2012 to, I'd say, about 2015 is about the time, Machinima was in its own, temple. I did Halo Machinima for a while, which you will get typecast. "Oh, you're older. Here's an admiral."
Right.
Yeah. Sims Machinimas, for the most part, it does help stretch the dramatic muscle. There are only, like, I think, 2 to 3 shows I contribute to at all anymore, only because that they are previous commitments.
Right.
Um, Otherwise, now that I'm auditioning for games and other shows and audio dramas, and basically, it's time for me to branch out, get out there. A website, a proper headshot, and I mean, we can all rule the world together.
Let's make this journey together.
Yes.
No, that's awesome that you've been doing it for so long. I mean, as you might know, I just got into it in
Hmm.
February,
Yeah.
is when I was like, "Hey, let's do this." Um, because my father-in-law is writing or creating a video game. He's developing a video game, and he goes,
Mm.
"Hey, so I've been thinking." He's like, "I want you to voice act in it," and I was like, okay, sure. I know you need a good mic and this and that, and that was it. I didn't know you needed a booth and all this stuff. And so I started doing research on in voice acting. I'm like, oh gosh, so there's a lot more to it. This looks like a lot of fun. I went up to my wife. I said, "Hey, what do you think about voice acting?" She goes, "Yeah." I was like, "Wait, you're fine. You want to do voice acting?" She goes, "Yeah." It's like it's going to take up a lot of space. Okay, it's going to cost a lot of money up front. Okay, all right, here we go. And that was kind of what set us off. And I mean, I thought about voice acting 10 years ago, and I
Yeah.
was I was watching voice actors do voice acting. I go, that looks like it sucks. I was like, I don't
I
want to do that.
Well, I mean, yeah, they're screaming their hearts and lungs out. I mean,
They're
that's part
repeating
of
a
it.
line 4 or 5 times just to get the right one. That's what threw
It's
me off.
part
I
of
was
the
like,
gig and it's quality control.
but back then I didn't know. I didn't know what it all entailed to even do acting. So
Yeah,
after
oh,
I
go
mean,
ahead.
I've been no, you're okay. I mean, I've been acting for 5 years now, in
Mhm.
theater, and I was like, "Oh, this is what it takes," and stuff, and so that kind of drove me to go, voice acting.
This is the family I grew up with. My mother has been a celloist for the Fort Worth and Dallas Symphony for 30, close to 40 years. A lot of what she had to do, at least early on when the rules are a bit looser, we can go behind the set, see how things are done, timed, um, set up, dress down, meeting with other musicians. I got to meet Carol Burnett. I got to meet Bernadette Peters. I got to meet uh, there's a couple of other famous people I can't recall at this point. Like one's like the greatest. tenor in the no, not a tenor. It was a I think it was a baritone. She
Hmm.
was working with Carol. Anyway, so um but yeah, oh, and getting backstage behind Broadway's Lion King when they came through town. That was something spectacular.
Oh,
My mom's just like, just pretend you be here. You need to be here. Just pretend that.
right.
Like you belong. So, um, sneaking backstage behind that was great. But yeah, at least that's my mom's side. Dad's side, that's, I mean, he has a doctorate in jazz. Like, he doesn't know what to do with it, but he has a doctorate in jazz just in case.
Right.
It was jazz composition. That's what it was. Um, so yeah, I come from this brilliantly musical family, and I mean, for a while I did percussion, but I took to the mic. That's
Right.
just me.
Now, so you grew up in this family that's very musical, and so you were exposed to the arts and exposed to this form of expression. And how long did you play drums? Do you still play drums?
I just about a year ago, I finally got an electric kit. I had been playing originally when I was 13 when I started there. Um, I did. My brother and I we played in the band like you do when you're brothers. So uh, we did that for a bit. We had creative differences upon graduating high school, of course.
Hmm.
One grows one way then more than the other. So uh audition kind of played around really with like a couple of people, just trying to find my own voice in within the local community and what have you. But ultimately, I mean, I just ended up playing just by myself, jamming out. It got
Right.
expensive and loud, and the police have been called on me a couple of times
Oh,
for once I had to pay for a ticket so far.
oh,
Otherwise, there a lot of other neighbors I had near in the near future. Yeah, yeah, they were pretty supportive. Um, but then I had to move out of mom's house and find my own place. So the drums kind of set up in storage, and I've always wanted an electric kit just so I have something else to jam on. Now I
right.
have an electric kit, and I jam on it whenever I can.
Right.
I just have to reinforce a couple of things. It's like you see the drum kits with the mesh pads.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I will break those.
Yep. Yep.
As I've been a hard hitter. One of the sensors broke on the mesh head because it comes with this intricate design of a triple layer zone, and it's like it's made of plastic
Hmm.
on the inside.
I had an
So
electric kit for a while, and
yeah,
I was like, I can't play. Can't play
yeah.
this.
No, I gotta have that single, ultimate like just rubber can bounce off of it. It's nice. I like it. I like it.
Yeah.
Swapped out the heads, and yeah, I'll just kind of get a double bass, and I'm good to go.
Nice.
Let's start
Yeah.
thrashing.
So I haven't actually had my drum kit set up in like 5 or 6 years.
Oh wow, what
Since
kind
our
of kit?
other, I have a Pacifica before Pacifica and DW merged, so it's a
Yes.
true Pacifica. Uh,
Ah,
and
excellent.
yeah, but it's a cherry wine red
It's pretty
color.
standard. It's a pretty standard, beginner's color.
Yeah, yeah, and
Yeah.
so that's been my kit for years. This is my only kit. But
Mhm,
I've been looking at a Traps A400, which is
mhm.
a drum kit that the bass is probably about that wide.
Really?
Yeah, and the it's a shellless kit, and it's
Oh,
on a rack to where it folds in on itself, and you can just, like,
that
pick it
is
up and store it.
that as a practice kit or is, like, it's just a
It's
mobile,
no, 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 like,
drum
people,
kit?
like, take it on gigs
Oh,
and
wow.
stuff like that, and you use your own cymbals and stuff like that. So
Yeah,
I was like, "I
but it's a fold-away kit. I have
the
to look into this.
fold-away kit, or instead of a drum kit, which takes what, 5 by 5 feet, this probably takes maybe 2.5 or 3
Mhm.
feet.
Oh, wow. That
So,
is teeny.
it's skinny, like, you can put it against a wall type thing, and you don't have to worry about it taking up your entire garage. So, I was like
That
I showed my wife, I
but I
said,
like my big kits.
"Oh, I do too." I mean, I would love to have my kid up, but I don't have the space, and Jesse's like, "You
Yeah.
have so many hobbies that take up all the space," like voice acting, booth,
Mhm.
drumming, drum set, uh, photography, gear, just all over the place. And so
Mhm.
she goes, you need a hobby that doesn't take space. I'm like, that's not gonna happen.
Almost nearly impossible.
But I
My
did
my
show her, I
wife
was like, look at this. It's a compact drum. And I was like, listen to it. And she goes, that sounds good. I was like, I know. I have to get it. So
sounds yeah.
one of these days, I think I'm gonna get it. It's the Traps A400.
Mm,
I'm gonna get it.
yeah, do it.
Heavily. It
I mean,
sounds really good.
the next booth I'm gonna work on is a music room. At least I plan on that, just to have, like, a real kit,
Mhm.
just to go nuts anytime I want to. Well, roughly, loosely anytime I want to. I
Right.
mean, it only works so well as much as you vacuum seal it.
I mean,
And
unless you do like a room within a room, you do a booth within a booth, then you might have a
yep.
little bit more play in
Mhm.
terms of how loud you can play. No,
Yes.
Jesse's like, well, why don't you build a booth to fit your drums and your voice acting? And it's like, we don't have the room. Even if I can't build,
I've
it's got to
considered
be
that too.
yeah, it's got to be what 8 by 8, 10 by 10, just to have the
Yeah,
space comfortable. And it's like we don't.
sounds about right.
Yeah, it's like we don't have that space in that garage. Um, but no, that I love music. I love the expression of arts and things like that. Is there a project that you're excited about coming up?
There's a project I'm excited about. I've got a horror game coming out. Well, okay, it hasn't been. The playable demo is coming out, and the voice session for the demo was a bit trial and error, but I learned where my bearings were for the performance of what he wanted. Demo will be coming from that. I'm told about end of this month, end of November, so about 1st of December, should be hearing something horror story, Hollow Seed, I believe it's called. That should be on Steam, I believe. I don't know
Awesome.
exactly. Yeah, there's that. Midnight Wave.
Midnight Wave.
Yeah.
I'm so pumped for that. We're both in that. You
Yes.
have 4 roles.
Three.
4,
Three. Do I have
3.
four?
I think it's
I don't. I,
4.
I don't know anymore. Because okay, there's the
The
NCP
main
NPC.
villain,
Yeah, the main villain.
the NPC.
Yeah, the weapons clerk, and then the one of the shoguns or ninjas. One of those.
I thought there was one more. Anyway,
Yeah,
but
I
3
thought.
or
Yeah,
4, that
I'll take another. Sure.
yeah. That yeah, I'm excited about that. Is
Yeah.
there anything else, or tell me or tell the viewers about Midnight Wave?
Well, as I understand, it is a pixel art cyberpunk um, samurai tactical. I believe they called it
Mhm,
tactical RPG.
mhm, mhm.
Yes. I'm not familiar with games. I don't play them myself.
Right. I
Yes.
just voice.
I'm more than happy to lend a hand or a voice, and then it's up to the masses what they want to do with them.
Right.
So, but yeah, I'll have fun. Sure. Um, there's that. I know there's gonna be another rendition of Simmerjohnny's Alone. Like, he's made the series once before with completely different actors when he was first started.
Mhm.
Then the actors fell off the face of the earth and he stopped making it.
Right.
And then he relaunched it, and then he found me, and I play, I don't wanna I'm definitely a lead, but it's like a co-lead. I'm more like a damsel, but I also do other voices as well.
Right.
Um, and that's a fun creative process as well. Um, but I had so much fun doing the second one that he's reamping it again. This from the first two scripts I've seen and read, it's a completely different turnaround, and people will be pleasantly surprised what happens. When it happens, I just know he wants to finish Simsville first,
Mhm.
whenever that happens. So yeah, as he goes, he's a pretty busy guy as is. With Sims tutorials, different like playthroughs. He's got like different series like Single Mom or Single Dad or I think something involving a babysitter. Just keeping the Sims community well informed.
Right.
And hey, have tried this trick out. Plus, he's a good dog lover,
That's a plus,
always.
always. So, where can people go to find out more about you, more about your work?
Well, at the moment, you can find me at Twitter at Carl G Voices. Look for my face. Um, I have an email. It is carlgbrooksvo@gmail.com.
Okay.
Uh, Website is currently under construction, so sorry there.
But it will
And
be up at one point. So
as 1 point,
what will
yes.
that be?
I don't know. Once I have more info, I can openly showcase it.
Right.
So
Do,
yes,
do you have a do you have a URL, a
URL.
domain?
No, I haven't.
Y-
I haven't even started.
Okay.
That's how new it is.
That's awesome though. Man,
Yes.
I love making websites and Tony Weiss, we're
Mhm.
talking and he's been doing all these demo productions and stuff like that. It's like, hey,
Yeah.
you have done so much, you need to make this like a business type thing. And he goes, all right, well, let's try to find.
It's only common sense that if you've done so well this far, I mean, come on.
Yeah, I was like, you should establish this as a business. And so I helped him, or we talked and we were searching and we found a website and a domain like that. And then I made his logo and I was just like, I'm so excited for you. He's like, I think you're more excited about it than I am. I like made the logo and I like found a template for the website and I like put it all together. I was like, this is what it looked like. He's like, I'm so excited. I'm not ready for that. But no, that is
That's brilliant.
what I love the branding, being able to brand yourself as a business or as a voice actor and stuff like that, and just
Mhm.
saying, "Hey, this is who I am. This is what I do. This is what I look like. This is what you're gonna get when you hire me."
Right.
Branding says so much. Says so much, and it's
Excuse me.
you're okay.
Okay.
But it is so. It's
It's
great.
necessity. It's all
It is.
survival. I actually tried asking Caitlin Glass. I was at a convention and she happened to be paneling, and I asked I asked the VO questions like, "How do you feel about branding?" He's like, "Well, I wouldn't know." Then eventually I found out her story was, well, I walked into Funimation. They told me that they found out I had theater experience, and boop, there I've been ever since.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
they don't do that anymore, but
No. No.
for that kind of hiring, no, it's gone well beyond those. Uh,
Definitely.
yes,
But no, it so branding definitely uh gives people an idea of who you are, and it
yes, identity.
allows you to market, because if you don't have a brand, you can't market. And if you don't have a marketing, you're not getting work. And if you're not getting work, then what are you
Mhm.
doing? You're just kind of twiddling your thumbs like, I auditioned for 100 projects today. What?
Good job.
How many of those did you get casted in?
Uh,
One?
True story.
True. Yeah. No,
True.
I've done a lot of cold calling to a bunch of advertisement agencies, a bunch of
Mhm.
production houses and stuff like that, and so far none have really turned up anything. But
I did
the
the same about last year. Started messaging like local developers, what have you, and maybe I got like 2 callbacks. Like, "Yeah, we'll keep you listed."
oh yeah, yeah. Hey,
Yeah.
can you send me an email? Oh yeah, I'll send you everything I have. Thanks. We'll keep it on file. Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah. But no, that is important. If you don't have a website, you can't send them anything a lot of
Yeah.
times. I mean,
Who are you?
yeah. Well, and a lot of times they say don't send them your demo
Hmm.
attached to the email, because either
No.
that'll go into spam or they'll delete it. So
Hmm.
you always have to uh,
Ask first. Like, do accept
ask
demos.
first, or you throw in your website. You go, hey, take a look at christianoboyle.com, and it has all my demos on it. And then they go, if they want to, they click on it. Sure enough,
Right.
they're on your website. There's all your demos. You don't have to worry about sending them.
Your resume, your
Yeah,
demo,
your
your
resumes on there, your
story,
demos,
where
your
you
about.
been.
Who are
Yeah.
you? Contact me, even though I already sent you an email.
An interactive business card.
Ooh. You can't design a business card without a brand.
Yes, that was it. I had a business card a couple of years back, back when I was running my old username, Broken English,
Mm.
and yeah, that was a mistake. But
Hey, you live and you
You'll-
learn.
exactly.
I just did something like that the other day, and I was like, no, it was yesterday. I
What?
posted I posted something, and Tony goes, "Yeah, there's no audio." I was like, "What?" Started searching everywhere, and I was like, "Cried." I had to like redo everything and like
Oh
repost it. And I'm like, "Wow, that was embarrassing." And he goes, "Yep." I'm like, "Well, you live and you learn." I was
no.
like, "I wish I didn't have to learn that, but that's
Well, I didn't notice until you told me, so you would have gotten away with it.
right, right." Um, but I mean that's life, and that's business and doing things. You gotta make the mistakes or
You,
talk to people who have made those mistakes.
you are the employee, the boss, the manager, the overseer, the
Your accountant,
caretaker, the janitor, the accountant.
your help,
You are the institution that creates your brand. Serve it
right?
and do it right.
Stay healthy, stay alive.
Big, yeah. Pro tip. Pro tip.
Pro tip. Pro
Pro
tip.
tip.
Well, you get sick, you can't really voice act. So you either have to find other auditions or
Mhm.
email clients and things like that. Even when you're sick or you're taking a day off,
Yeah,
you almost have
just
to
like
continue doing.
5 or 10 a day.
Oh,
I
I
mean, if
wish
if
I
you wanna like minimize
I totally wish I could
5 or
do.
10 emails.
Oh yeah, I wish I could do that. I haven't done that.
Mhm.
I've
Oh,
things. I mean, this time of year it's so hectic as it is. I mean,
yes, with the families
family,
and,
holidays, and this and that, and it's like, oh, that's I'm running out of time. God,
yeah, especially if you do happen to work full time on top of your voiceover career.
which I do, and I have
Yeah.
my photography business on top of that, which I do.
Yep.
So
Mhm.
it's just like I have no time at all. But uh, thank you for being on the show with me.
Thank you for having me. It's an absolute pleasure.
Thanks for listening to Behind the Slate with guest Carl G. Brooks. If you liked the video, please subscribe to the channel and press the bell button to stay notified. I look forward to seeing you again.
Um, um,
Love me! Love me!
if you build it, they will come.
It's a motorcycle.